All praises to Yahweh, Bashim Shai, Bashim Hadadesh, the master, Pastor Elvis Big Muslim, that taught me this 100% truth through well. Citation to Yakim out to pushing you for all sincerity, and risk their life to do so. Citation to the hopeful elect that scatter among the four corners of the earth that believe in the truth, Yahweh Bashim Shai. Shalom. This is the article from RFID.com. You know what I'm saying? So this double, he's informing you of his next move of bringing in the fourth industrial revolution, which is transhumanism. He's informing you of the details, you know what I'm saying, of the benefits of you merging with the system, you know, the RFID chip mark of the beast. So let's start here. This is the title reads RFID chips in the human body, how they work, and what you need to know. All right. With this widespread use of RFID technology, RFID chips are not only used to track items and animals, but also beginning to be discussed as human implants. Many companies and individuals have explored the use of RFID chips in areas such as medical care, identity authentication, and security. However, there are still many questions surrounding the working principles, advantages, and risks of RFID chips implanted in the human body. This article will delve into the topic and help you fully understand the working mechanism of RFID chips in the human body and its potential impact. This is how RFID chips work. RFID, the RFID, the radio frequency identification chips, or microelectronic devices that store data. RFID chips implanted in the human body are usually passive chips, meaning they do not require an internal power supply, but instead generate electricity through, through receive radio waves to send data. The radio waves emitted by the reading device provide energy in the chip, allowing it to return stored information such as unique identification code. The chips typical u- the These chips typically use high frequency or ultra high frequency technology, allowing the reading device to read the chip information within a range of several centimeters to several meters. Application scenarios of RFID chips. This is the medical field. By implanting chips, doctors can quickly obtain patients' medical records, allergy information, their emergency contact information. They're improving efficiency of treatment in emergency situations. For example, some medical institutions in the United States have begun to experiment with using RFID chips for patient identification to reduce medical errors. Yeah, and that's what the devil does. You know, he takes this something that's meant to bring you harm, but he butters it up. He sells it to you as a thing that's beneficial unto you. Like this is the new wave of technology, and this thing is actually going to help save your life. That's what he put. That's how he presents it because he's the devil. You know what I'm saying? And part of his blessing is deception. So he's deceiving you to, think that this thing is beneficial. He's telling you here, like, yo, we put this chip inside of you. If something was to happen to you, you get in a car accident or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? You don't have any means of identification, just RFID chip, everything's gonna be on it. You know what I'm saying? Who you are, your medical records, you know what I'm saying? Your medical history. So they'll know like what steps they gotta take to treating you because if you got any type of allergies to any type of medications, they they need to provide for you that you may be in dire need of in what you call a critical situation. You know what I'm saying? Um, on a scene of an accident, they can provide that for you because they're not going to have any mishaps. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, giving you the proper medical assistance you need and it prevent all those mishaps. You know what I'm saying? By them being able to identify and see exactly what it is, that you have going on. You know what I'm saying? So they won't be, you know, um, it's a thing of, uh, to eliminate mistakes, you know what I'm saying, and be more efficient. And that's what that's how he's presenting it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, they're gonna fall for that trap because, that's part of, the devil, you know what I'm saying, and his snare that he puts before you. He comes cunning, and he tells you that, yo, I'm here to help, but truly, I'm saying, he's there to you know um bring your downfall, you know what I'm saying? But that's the way of him presenting it to you, what I'm saying, in order to, get you, you know, take the bait. We know security and identity authentication. Some companies, such as Epic Center in Sweden, have implanted chips in their employees to replace traditional ID cards or access cards. By scanning the implanted RFID chip, employees can easily enter the workplace, reducing the risk of loss or theft. In addition, RFID chips can also be used for personal payments, and in some places, they can replace credit cards or quick payments. Yeah, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's what this RFID chip's going to do because, this double, he getting ready to transition into digital currency. You know what I'm saying? That's the next step, and that's going to be the thing that is going to be, he's going to use to try to save, the financial system because he's intentionally causing inflation because he wants to hit the reset button. And the answer is what? We're going to go to a new form of currency, what I'm saying, to um, fix the financial structure, of the so-called Babylon, I mean, Slakia, of the so-called United States, which is Babylon the Great, you know what I'm saying? And, uh, all throughout the world, you know what I'm saying? So the whole world is, getting ready to transition to this digital system because, this is the hour of temptation that the world's going to have to face, transition into the digital currency, which is bringing in the market of beasts. And this devil, he's heading away. So that's why he's informing you, you know what I'm saying? There's no coincidence that there's a website give you the information, you know what I'm saying? That, this is the next step. So the RFID card.com, you will be that card. You're not going to need any of your financial credit cards anymore. Your credit card, your debit card, you know what I'm saying? Because all the information, all the information is going to be uh, on the chip. So you won't need any use for, digital payments, Apple Pay or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Or all these, digital platforms, these apps that allow you to pay and go. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna be that card. Once he implants his chip inside of you, there's gonna be no need for all that. So you're not gonna have to, have an identification card or whatnot. Because the chip is gonna identify you. It's gonna prevent things like, you know, so-called um identity theft or whatnot. Because your chip is gonna be designated just to you. So they're gonna know that your whereabouts at all times because it's even going to be a tracking system as well. You know what I'm saying? Because the devil wants to have full uh, ownership, you know what I'm saying, of his slaves. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how he sees the world. You know what I'm saying? He sees the people of this society, especially you, Jake, as his property. You know what I'm saying? And he wants to, you know, um, you know, brand you as his own. And this is what he's going to use to do so, this RFID microchip. You know what I'm saying? We know in addition to adult identity or authentication, RFID chips are also widely used to tracking the location of pets and children. Chips are planted in pets and can help find lost animals, and implanting chips in children's clothes or shoes in gradual shoes is gradually becoming a safe measure to prevent them from getting lost. Yeah. So, that's going to be another, uh, perk they say of getting this ship is especially planning in your kids because they got a big thing you know with child trafficking here in Babylon the Great, all throughout the world. But it's these elites, they like to snatch at these kids and do their these wicked rituals. You know what I'm saying? And drinking kids' bloods and putting them to death. You know what I'm saying? That's what the devil does. So this is going to be a safe measure. He's going to present it unto you as like, yo, you get chipped, You know, it's going to prevent, your identity from being taken. It's going to prevent your children from being snatched up, you know what I'm saying, and trafficked, you know. So he gonna create it like a safe haven, you know what I'm saying? But that's the deception, you know. The devil, he can't be trusted. You know, although the application potential of RFID chips is huge, it also brings some risk and controversies, especially those involving privacy, safety, and health. Yeah, because there ain't gonna be no privacy, safety, or health because they're gonna be in total control. They want control over everything. The devil want to know your whole whereabouts. He want to be the Lord. He want to be the God. He thinks he's God. You know what I'm saying? So he wants to, you know, really he's trying to get his blessing back. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, uh he's going about getting his blessing through carnal methods and implanting you with his microchips. You see, but it's going to be to his own detriment because like the scripture say, he wishes to continue his enterprise, but his enterprise is going to fail because the game's been fixed and the Lord is going to take this devil out. But this is one of the steps he's going to take to hold on to his kingdom because he's going to fight tooth and nail. You know what I'm saying? In order to hold on to his rulership. Privacy uh, pro- protection is one of the main controversies of RFID chips in the human body. If any unauthorized device reads the chip, it may steal or misuse the user's information. Therefore, some countries have made it illegal to implant chips without consent. For example, several states in the United States have enacted laws prohibiting mandatory human chip implants. But yeah, right now, you know what I'm saying? Of course, it's not going to be a thing of, he's not going to present it as being mandatory in the beginning, just like he did with the jab. You know what I'm saying? When he came with the pandemic, and he places poison among society. You know what I'm saying? He brought it as a voluntary thing in the beginning, but then when things were moving slow, the double he tightened his grip, he put the squeeze on motherfuckers, and then everybody started folding. You know what I'm saying? Because people was threatened with their jobs, so they livelihood was being taken away from them or whatnot. They was being stripped of their privileges as far as being able to move about freely. You know what I'm saying? Go to restaurants and the grocery stores without, you know what I'm saying, it being an issue, you know. And when people saw that, when they saw that they could, go from city to city freely, move about and travel and enjoy the luxuries of being trapped in Babylon or, just the luxuries of being in this world, you know what I'm saying? They started to fold. They was like, all right, well, you know, since he starts, putting these restrictions on, hey, if you don't got the jab, you won't be able to travel or you won't be able to go to this restaurant or whatever it may be. People, started to take it more serious. And those that were totally against, getting, the jab and taking the double poison or even wearing a mask, what I'm saying? They started, complying with the orders, you know what I'm saying? Because they felt some type of way about not being able to move freely, you know what I'm saying? So when that came about, they started folding and they started, falling in line to what the devil had, on the table. And it's going to be no different with this thing, you know what I'm saying? Because when he don't see things going his way in the beginning, when people, saying back, bucking up against him, you know what I'm saying? He's going to bring the hammer down. He's going to tighten his grip and put the squeeze on it, and motherfuckers going to fold. And, he even had it to the point to people were, going against each other. You know what I'm saying? As far as unjabs versus the jabs, you know what I'm saying? Unmasked versus the mask, you know what I'm saying? But that's, all part of his psychological warfare, the psyops, you know what I'm saying? To turn the people against each other, but so he can create certain scenarios, so he can bring forth certain things like martial law. You know what I'm saying? Because he wants things to be in an uproar, so he can put his further restraints on the society, so he can bring forth what he need to do for his the correction. You know what I'm saying? Because he's going to present it as a thing as this is safe haven. This is just like he did with with the jab. You know what I'm saying? Because he had people feeling a certain way about you know not getting it. You know what I'm saying? And then everybody was like, "Yo, you fucking up society." What he start calling people? he was telling them that they were domestic terrorists. You know what I'm saying? For not taking the job. You know what I'm saying? Because we're threatening people's livelihood for those that didn't take it. You know, and it's going to be no different with the microchip implant. And he's going to also like he even also he also offered incentives for taking the job. You know what I'm saying? It's, and it's going to be no different with the RFID microchip marketed beast. You know what I'm saying? He's going to offer you incentives too because when they go to the global reset and they go to the digital currency, he's going to probably offer you things like, hey, we're going to wipe all your debt. You know what I'm saying? Your debt is going to be swiped clean. And we're also going to give you $100,000. Hell, he might even offer you $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Because it won't even matter because, you know what I'm saying, he's going to be in control of it, of all the aspects of, you know, of controlling the financial system, even more so because even if you do become, if he give you, you know, these perks of this money, he can control how you spend it. You know what I'm saying? He can, once he has a digital currency in place and then controlling the monetary system like it is, he can, you know, put strict restraints on certain things that you can do. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, let me read on. It says human implants have also posed potential health risks, although there there is no conclusive evidence that RFID chips can cause harm to human to the human body. Some studies have shown that the chip implants may cause infection, allergy reactions, and even have a potential association with cancer. However, the extreme low, however, the probability of these risks occurring is extremely low, and in most cases of chip implants have not resulted in serious complications. Yeah, and that's the thing he's going to do. You know what I'm saying? He's going to present to you the broader things that the more the things that are beneficial for taking it, and he's going to tell you the things that you know that can happen to you for taking it are very minimal. That's what he's going to sell it. He's going to say it's more beneficial for you to have it than not have it, and a lot of people are going to going to fall for it. You know, these so-called these Jakes out here, these so-called um the Jakes out here, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna get gaffled. They're gonna fall for it. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna go with what the devil has presented into them to move along in society. You know what I'm saying? Because once they, like I said, once he put the restraints on and he stop, you from moving a certain way, or he take your benefits from your financial structure from you when he go to the digital system, and the only way you can, you know, use the monetary system if you have this chip, a lot of people are gonna fall for that. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not gonna have a livelihood. You can't go to work or anything. You know what I'm saying? Without this chip, because this is going to be the, the way that society goes. So if you don't have it, you're going to be obsolete from society. Read on. It says human implants of RFID chips has sparked extensive ethical and legal discussions in some countries such as Sweden and the United States. Chip implants is currently voluntary and users are free to choose whether the implant in the other countries. Discussions about mandatory implementation or use of RFID chips continue. For example, the Health Insurance Probability and Accountability Act, HIPAA, in the United States stipulates that any technology involving personal health information must meet strict privacy protection standards since future development and trends. With the continuous advancement of technology, the application protects the RFID chips in the human body or broad. In the future, the developers may combine the chip with the technologies like biometrics and artificial intelligence to enhance security and practicality. Yeah, you already see that. You know what I'm saying? They're going to biometrics too, even with the real ID and all. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to be you know a combination. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to use biometrics to identify you as well, along with your chip. You know what I'm saying? Just like they have in China when they, use facial recognition to recognize who you are. You know what I'm saying? It's all part of, that whole transhumanism, man, and technology all in one. You know, But that's pretty much it. That's it for the article. But yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Though that and also with employment, you know what I'm saying, this devil, you know, a lot of the jobs, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna, you know, transition into, that platform, you know what I'm saying? And since you going to work, the only way you're gonna get paid is through the digital system. So you're gonna have to have the chip and whatnot. And your job, you know what I'm saying, when they make the transition, they're gonna always be able to track your whereabouts. There's not gonna be a time clock where you clock in and clock out, you know what I'm saying? Because once you walk into the premises of your workplace, that chip is gonna recognize, you know what I'm saying? Be recognized, and it's gonna tell you, it's you, and this is certain time that you clocked in. You know what I'm saying? So when you leave the premises, it's gonna say, all right, so I clocked out for the day. You see? And even now, you know what I'm saying, they have jobs where, even, my current workplace, they got apps that we use to clock in and out. So but there's gonna be no more need for that, you know what I'm saying? But that's just, this devil get you comfortable with this new digital system that he's created. You know what I'm saying? He uses such things as apps and the RFID chip on your debit cards, your credit cards. You know what I'm saying? With the tap and pay. You know what I'm saying? Even with the apps, you know what I'm saying? You can tap and pay with the apps as well. You know what I'm saying? Even certain stores you go into, like they have apps set up to where that you can put your credit card in the account. You don't even have to wait in line. You know, scan the barcodes of the items that you have, and then go straight into to the app, and you pay for it as you go. You don't even got to go through checkout. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing he does. He creates these certain situations to get you acclimated to his system. You know what I'm saying? It's with gradualism, so you get comfortable to the digital platform, and you just think that this is you know this, the times that we're in, that hey, everything's going more digital, so you get comfortable with it. You know what I'm saying? And these apps, you know what I'm saying, they do work. It is a big convenience, I ain't even gonna front. It is, but at the same time, the devil, he's trying to get you comfortable. So you just think about it like, this ain't nothing. This just is the times that we're in, and we, transition to something new. But truly, it's, him, working you in your mind to get you prepared for what he's about to bring. So, a lot of people, what I'm saying, they won't take it that personal when it comes down to it. They're just gonna be like, all right, well, what I'm saying, we're just we're just evolving as a people, and they're gonna get comfortable. You know what I'm saying, and that's when the devil's gonna come through with the jab. you know, you know, uh, uh, place his mark upon you. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, they're gonna have their guards down, and they're gonna accept it for what it is. And that's gonna be to their own detriment. But that's how this devil plays on you. He try to get you comfortable with gradualism, so when he bring these things forth, so he catch you off guard, so you don't put up much of a fight when he comes down with the hammer. Because like the scriptures say, the devil's, he's gonna come down with great wrath, and that's what he's getting ready prepared to do. Because he's gonna do whatever he gotta do to hold on to his kingdom, and bring the fear, instill fear inside society, so they can roll with his system. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't, you know, you know, he gonna slay a lot of motherfuckers that get in his way. You know what I'm saying? So let's just go to the scriptures here. This is Habakkuk 2 and 3, which reads, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." And this right here, this what you see right here, the RFID chip mark of the beast, this is the appointed time that the Lord has placed for this prophecy to come to pass. You know what I'm saying, this is what John the Revelator saw on the island of Patmos. This is what the Lord revealed unto him. This is the time, the generation that the Lord has chose to see is coming to bring this to pass. You know what I'm saying, there ain't gonna be no more after this. There's not gonna be another generation that the Lord gonna make his way for his return. You know what I'm saying? This is it. This is why this prophecy is taking place. Like this is why they even got a they got a website, you know what I'm saying, the RFIDcard.com, showing this prophecy coming to pass. This is what the Lord revealed into John the Revelator. You know what I'm saying? This is the time that we're in. There ain't no turning back now. You know what I'm saying? The Lord, You know what I'm saying? It said what he said should not go void. And this is a prophecy that's going to take place because we're at the end. This is pretty much it. This devil, he done. You know what I'm saying? And we give all praise to Yahweh Shemashai that the Lord, this is the time and the generation that he has chose to see his coming and to take this devil out of power. You know what I'm saying? And this devil, you know what I'm saying? Like the scripture say, but he have a short time and his time is up. He's running out of time. That's why he's pushing these things forth. You know what I'm saying? So this is gonna be it. We don't got like 100 more years here. You know what I'm saying? This thing's gonna happen soon. You know what I'm saying? Very soon. Hell, we probably don't even got 5 years here, Lord willing. You know what I'm saying? The sooner the better. But we're seeing it now. We see these prophecies unfolding right now before our eyes. And this is Revelations 13 and 16, which read, he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and on their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast and the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath an understanding count the number of the beast, for the number of a man, for it is a number of a man, and the number is three score and six. Yeah. So this chip, this is the device that he's going to use to usher in the mark of the beast, and you won't be able to buy or sell without it. You know what I'm saying? He's, as you read in the article, it's going to be your medical records, your identification. You know what I'm saying? Um, your your form of payment, all that. You know what I'm saying is on his card. And this devil gonna have control of all of that. Why? Because he wants to have control of you. GPS. You know what I'm saying? Your tracking. So when your kids get lost, he could be able to find you. So he's gonna know your whereabouts all the time. He's gonna know, when you're sleeping, when you're sick. You know what I'm saying? When you bullshit, when you're not coming to work. You know what I'm saying? He gonna know all that information. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because he thinks he thinks he's God. You know what I'm saying? And this is what he's doing to get his blessing back. And he's bringing it about carnally. Why? Because he's a carnal individual. You know what I'm saying? So this is part of his blessing. This RFID microchip. That's he's going to use to try to hold on to his kingdom. And we also saw in the article that it said that, those that get implanted with the chip, it can cause possible cancer or whatnot. And this also, the Lord said it here in Revelation 16 and 2. It says, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them it's like and upon them which worshipped his image. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that grievous sore is that cancer, that ulcer. You know what I'm saying? That, it's gonna happen to those that end up taking his mark. You know, when you go into the soil, it's like yeah. When you go in the soil and you go into the definition, it says a wound producing a discharge pus, a sore, a ulcer, yeah, and that's what the cancerous thing is. You know what I'm saying? That's that sore. Let's go back to what it says health risks. Human implants have always past potential health risks, although there is non no conclusive evidence that RFID chips can cause harm to the human body. Some studies have shown that the chip implants may cause infection. And what happens with infection? You get pus. You know what I'm saying? Because you're infected, you know, uh, your body has getting infection and it's trying to fight the infection. You know what I'm saying? It's things that, you start pussing up. You know what I'm saying? Showing you that you've been affected, that the area that, that's been damaged is infected. You know what I'm saying? Read on. Allergy reaction and even a potential associated with cancer. Yeah, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That grievous sore in Revelation 16 is the result of you taking an implant, that RFID chip, mark of the beast implant. You're going to develop a grievous sore. You're going to develop a cancer. So you're going to be infected. You know what I'm saying? Infected with this devil's poison. you know. But yeah, this devil, he can't be trusted. You know what I'm saying? Like the scriptures say, uh, trust not thy enemy. And this devil, you saw him, he's your enemy. You know what I'm saying? He's not to be trusted, you know. So as iron's rough, so is his wickedness. You know what I'm saying? For you Jake out there that, trusting this devil, he can't be trusted. You know what I'm saying? So for him to tell you all the benefits of you taking his mark, you know what I'm saying, is irrelevant because it's to your own detriment. You can't trust this man because he's your enemy and he doesn't have his best interests for you. You know what I'm saying? He he wants your he's doing this to prevent you from receiving your salvation and you ruling over him. You know what I'm saying? That's why he's bringing this about because he's trying to hold on to his kingdom and take his blessing back. You know what I'm saying? So he has no he only has ill intent for you. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have your well being in mind. You know what I'm saying? So he can't be trusted. But yeah, so that's Mark of the Beast update. You know what I'm saying? And you can go to the site and read it for yourself. But this is the signs of the times. You know what I'm saying? Showing you that if they have a site for you to get information on the RFID microchip, it's showing you that this is the time that the Lord has, brought forth for this to take place. You know what I'm saying? We're living in it now, and this is going to be, the downfall of Esau Edom in his kingdom. That's pretty much it. I hope this lesson is edifying. This was a call holy, have much, Kwamashirala, Abba, Shalom.